to 60 miles an hour in 3 seconds. A top speed of 216 miles an hour. Descended from a legendary motorsport battle. This is the Ford GT. Brand new, it costs around $450,000. And if you fancy one, well, you'll have to join the queue, along with 7,000 other people on the waiting list. Ford will only make 1,000 or so of these GTs, so it's no wonder second-hand cars are going for well over $1 million, twice the original asking price. This, of course, is the third Ford GT, built to celebrate 50 years since the company's first outright win at Le Mans in 1966 with the original Ford GT. That was a car built with one thing in mind: to beat Ferrari at Le Mans after the Italians had rebuffed Ford's proposals to buy the company. The story is iconic in the world of motorsport. Ford enlisted the help of British constructors Lola to design and build a race car to break Ferrari's dominance in European sports car racing. Named the GT40, it made its debut in 1964 and, after 2 failed attempts, succeeded in beating Ferrari at Le Mans in 1966 with a commanding 1-2-3 victory. Not only that, but it maintained its winning streak, taking first place for the next 3 years, as well as conquering sports car races across the world. This latest Ford GT takes us back to where we started. A car designed primarily to race, to win again at Le Mans. It was officially unveiled back in 2016, just in time for that year's 24-hour race, exactly half a century after its famous first victory. But it took a bit longer for street-legal cars to hit the road. In a bid to make this new car as successful on the track as the original GT, Ford took a no-holds-barred approach to engineering it. Massive 4-pot carbon ceramic brakes do the stopping, whilst firm race-bred suspension takes care of the cornering. And there's certainly very few luxuries in this bare, race-prepared car. In fact, there's not even a glove box, nowhere to store anything. The lightweight theme continues with the build of the car. It's got a carbon fibre monocoque, aluminium subframes front and rear, carbon fibre bodywork. Like it still weighs just over 1,500 kilograms. The GT raised quite a few eyebrows when it was launched, including inside Ford, as the car was developed in complete secrecy by a tiny team of just 12 people. Even more surprising was the fact that they ditched the usual all-American V8 seen in the previous 2 generations of Ford GT and replaced it with a 3.5-litre V6. But there was method to their madness, because this V6 engine is lighter for racing purposes, and it also utilises Ford's EcoBoost turbocharging system, which is used on their road cars. And as the famous phrase goes, win on a Sunday, sell on a Monday. Okay, I have to admit the sound behind me doesn't really sound anything like as good as that throbbing pulse of a V8. But then again, any engine that brings me 655 horsepower ticks my boxes. The brakes are so impressive. The first thing you notice, the brakes, touch that brake pedal, oh, snap, it stops. It's not anything like as stiff or as uncomfortable as I thought it would be. Sits very flat. The steering is just instant. It doesn't get a huge amount of feedback. I don't feel it kicking that much. But I feel very connected with the road to the seat of my pants. I've actually got a sport mode. I bring in the anti-lag. I think I might try that a little bit for fun. Ooh. Wow, that is a big change. So normal mode doesn't have the anti-lag in, so you haven't got the turbo spooled up all the time to keep the boost ready. Now, if I lift off, boom, back on the throttle, boom. The power's still there. Okay, so this car might not provide all the comforts you want from a road car, but it's got everything you'd want from a car Perhaps built for the road, but intended for a racetrack. And there's a good reason why this car feels so at home on the circuit. Usually, when a car maker wants to go racing, they take one of their regular road cars, throw out all the comfy bits, beef up the performance, and tweak it to meet racing rules. For the GT, though, Ford did things the other way around. This thing was designed as a race car first, and only later adapted for the road. That race car ethos can be seen from the outside of the car as well. Wherever you look, there are clever ducts and intakes channeling the air over the car to help keep it pinned to the road. When form follows function, it can lead to some rather odd-looking shapes. But here, it's spectacular. The amount of sculpture on the car is incredible, but it's all there for a good reason. Take these rear buttresses, for example. They not only help with the aerodynamics, they also stiffen the body, and these side intakes channel air through the bodywork and into the engine. And when you do get yourself on a racetrack, as I have now, that no-nonsense, uncompromising attitude is even reflected in the way the Ford GT switches to race mode. No gentle lowering of the suspension or raising of the rear wing with this. Just a few buttons and switches, and it's ready. It's a bit different than being on the roads. Now I can really light up. Whoa! Oh my goodness, this is what this Ford GT was bred for. Being on a track. I don't care whether it's a V6, a V8 or a V12, as long as I've got 650 horsepower to play with. It sits very flat. Instant gear changes, flicking. It just wants to understand a little bit, but it's so well balanced. It hardly dives at all under braking. Look through the corner, pick up the line. Of course, you can get rid of that understeer by giving a bit of a flick punch to the throttle, and then you can get it sideways. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you too much at the moment because this is just all action around this tight circuit. Boom! Flick it, punch the throttle. Oh, too much. Here, in its natural habitat on the track, the GT is nothing short of incredible. It powers down the straights with ease, stops like you can't believe, and corners with precision. It's brutal and savage, and most of all, invigorating. I haven't really got enough time to tell you how much fun I'm having. Because I'm a bit busy. Hopefully you can see how much fun I'm having in a Ford GT. Oh, what a machine. 140, 150 miles an hour. Oh, everyone needs to drive a Ford GT on one day of their lives. This is just great. Exactly 50 years after their first victory, Ford took this latest generation of GT to Le Mans and repeated history, beating Ferrari and winning their class. In so doing, they entered another chapter in Ford's Le Mans story, a special legacy for a very special car.